Hey everyone, this is Christian C, and in this module, I'm going to talk about insights into high vibrational energy versus low vibrational energy. And let's begin with the brain and emotions. No matter how strong your willpower is, if you're physically and mentally drained, your emotions will begin to creep up and tempt you towards bad habits and negative energies. Your emotions oftentimes care about getting instant gratification, and they are aligned with your ego self rather than long-term goals, which are more aligned with your higher self. We are all too often driven by our emotions. This is particularly true when our brain power is low on energy, and this itself leads our willpower to also become low on energy, making us more susceptible to yield into temptation and overall negative energies. It's important to gain awareness of this so we may avoid it as much as possible. How do your emotions connect to your ego? Your emotions are the source that nourishes your ego. When you are on a good emotional vibe, your ego self feels good. When there is an energy change and you begin to feel negative emotions, your ego self is alerted and it begins to reach out for a quick fix without thinking of the long-term consequences. Your ego self is linear, time-based, and wants things in the moment rather than looking at things in the long term or from a universal point of view. The key point to remember is that your emotions is what drives your ego. Feel good emotions and your ego will feel motivated to take good, productive actions. Feel bad and worsening emotions and your ego will become desperate to create change by any means. This happens particularly if you have not trained yourself to work with your inner energy. Once you know how to navigate and work with your energy, you can create the right change. And a question that we have to ask ourselves is, if we lose ourselves to negative emotions, how do we once again find our center? We can find our center by trusting ourselves in knowing that we can create energy that will make things better. We have to will ourselves out of that dark place. We have to will ourselves into higher vibrational energy. Lift yourself up. Lift up your energy and get to that better energy state. You have the power and energy to transcend to a better emotional state. When you believe this to the core and you begin trusting yourself that you will elevate towards the light, a light of devotion and dedication towards your journey, this is when you shift away from dark energy that is taking you down the wrong path. Understanding your own unique energy process is essential. When we have this understanding that our energy will fluctuate, meaning that it will go up and it will fluctuate down, we are then consciously and subconsciously moving towards becoming higher vibrational. The difference between being high vibration and low vibration is simple. What is high vibrational energy? High vibrational energy means that we're always raising our energy through ascension and overcoming negative energy that we encounter in our journey. We rise towards higher vibrations through a greater energy awareness. particularly a greater awareness of our higher self within duality. Being a high vibrational person means you're able to have a deeper spiritual bond. And you're also able to find a stronger connection with the psychic world. You're more natural to being in trance, and you're also more in touch with your true emotions of self. And let's not forget that when we are high vibrational, we are coming from a place of humbleness, gratitude, exploration, dreamlike energy that we admire within ourselves and within others. That is my take on high vibrational energy. How would you describe your high vibrational energy? If you like, you can write down in detail how you view your high vibrational self and let that be part of your guide. Within time, you will discover that these thoughts and words hold true, or perhaps at times they will not hold true. You will discover that they will shift a bit, perhaps at times. Nonetheless, it is a process of discovery and acknowledgement. Now, let's talk about low vibrational energy. How do we calibrate our energy to find out if we are in a low vibrational mode? We have to be able to read our energy in an honest way. If you're depressed, have a lack of energy, or even feeling negative, this means your energy has gone into low vibrational mode. When you're not being creative or productive with your time, with yourself, and you feel like negative emotions are running who you are, and it's sort of addictive in a way because perhaps you don't even want to change this feeling, this negative rush of energy. This means you're being low vibrational. When we become aware that we're being low vibrational, we can move towards changing that. One important thing, we must want to change being low vibration and into a high vibration energy self. What I mean by this is that oftentimes being low vibration can be quite addictive. Perhaps we feel a pang of anger, resentment, frustration, the feeling that we have been wrong or treated unfairly, and the rush of those negative emotions become quite addictive. We relish on those ill feelings, and even though we don't want to stay that way, our ego self feels that rush to be so strong that it purposefully sets out to express it within your energy and externally within the world as well. We have to be honest with ourselves when our energy is low vibration and find ways, anything that works for us personally, to quell that and move beyond that state. Even if negative emotions feel good in a strange way, we have to get past them as quickly as possible. What actions can you take to change being in a low vibrational state? What can you say to yourself, or what questions can you ask yourself in order to move onward and away from being low vibration? Do you remember a time when you were in a high vibrational state? One of the things I like to visualize and feel is the fact that time moves along and I can easily say that is who I was, even though only an hour ago or even a minute ago has passed since I was in that low vibrational mode. If you come from that frame of mind, it creates just a tiny little bit of space in time. Even if you were low vibrational a minute ago, when you say this mantra, you clear up your emotional framework of your ego self and you create just a tiny gap to begin leading with your higher self. The mantra is, that is who I was. Who am I now? And this is where I am transcending. We will cover this mantra in more detail, along with other powerful and easy to implement techniques in another module. Realize that something so simple can really pivot your energy and take you out of a certain rut, even when we don't feel like getting out of that rut. So I hope that you begin to see a clear picture of not just how low and how high vibrational energy comes to be, but more importantly, how we can effectively take even the most minimal of actions that will shift our energy towards that direction that we want to go. And that would be towards further ascension rather than declining towards low vibration. When we get really good at this, we're able to not only read and calibrate our own high and low vibrations, but we can read the energy of others through their own journey in the way that we interact with their own vibrational energy through their higher vibrations and low vibrations. Having insights into someone else's energy is a great way to read people and perceive them and see what they are about, whether we are in a social setting or a business-oriented setting. When reading someone else, we can calibrate their energy by asking ourselves questions such as, are they a high vibrational person? Again, the question is, are they a high vibrational person? Another question is, are they a low vibrational person? Are they a low vibrational person? Does their energy fluctuate wildly? And even though nobody is always high vibration or low vibration, we can more or less paint a picture of what they are currently gravitating towards within their own journey. Perception of one's energy and the energy of others is such an underestimated skill to have, not just in knowing in what direction to go, but also what bad energies we must avoid within ourselves and others. We can be as idealistically as we like and paint a pretty picture, but when it all hits the fan and we are in a reactive and somewhat emotional state, you get a different outcome. Yet our work here is to get the best outcome possible so that we may continue to grow, evolve, and ascend towards our goals. We all wish we could always be our best selves, but realistically, we know that we're going to face many different energies, from high vibrations to very low vibrations, both emanating from within ourselves and also emanating within others. I can tell you this, if we become serious enough to want to create change and we remain proactive towards changing our energy and seeking better results, we will become less emotionally reactive and more driven by our higher self. It takes work, but it's possible. The person you are today is not the same person you will be tomorrow. So take action and will yourself into a better place. Will yourself out from low vibrations. Will yourself towards being a high vibrational person.